on EA Sports. Straight ahead, we've got a terrific matchup on tap between the Atlanta Falcons and the New York Jets. With that, we head up to MetLife Stadium as we'll hand it over to the two men that'll call the action, Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, much appreciated, Coach, as we welcome all of you to our exclusive coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. A short time ago, the Jets defense introduced to this crowd, and one of the biggest ovations was for the big man, Leonard Williams, as he and his mates get set to do battle with the Atlanta Falcons. Hi again, everyone, with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, and Charles, you look at this Jets ball club. They come in playing pretty good football, winners of 4 of their last 6 games. Meanwhile, for the visiting Falcons, they've certainly found their groove of late, winners of 5 in a row.
And I think the sky's the limit for this team. They're playing the best football that they've played in a long time.
The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. This is taken just shy of the 10 here. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Comes the Jet offense as they get ready to take over. As we take a peek at Sam Darnold, the former USC Trojan and 3rd pick in the 2018 draft.
And he ought to have a lot of pep in his step after last week's performance because he did exactly as you want him to play if you're a coach. 3 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, which usually means you're making a lot of right decisions out there.
And got him the win.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. All right, here we go.
Here's the first carry for Tariq Cohen. Space to maneuver at the 40. The rushing numbers, 15 carries, 91 yards.
And he's hoping to have the same type of game, but he's going up against the #1 defense in the league, and they're very good at fitting the run. So now you've got to think offensive strategy, maybe a little more play action, and try and find some people open downfield.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue, line it.
On 1st and 10, Darnold got an open man. It's accelerating, and off he goes. Way in. Touchdown, New York. Hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Jets have taken a first-quarter lead. Well, that's how they envisioned it, get the football to start the game and score.
And I don't know if that was scripted. Was it an audible? Or was it just a play call that they had in their pocket? No matter what, they had the right call on against the right defense, and they end up in the end zone.
Now Stephen Gostkowski on for the extra point. Extra point good by Gostkowski, and it's now a 7-0 game. Last gets him 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The former Indiana Hoosier here, Tevin Coleman. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. And defensive back Jamal Adams. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, see in this game as well.
Well, look at the numbers for Coleman in last week's game. There isn't a coach alive who wouldn't like those numbers. Well over 100 yards and a touchdown, too.
Partner, I think all the coaches who are in that great coaching box in the sky would take those numbers.
So dead or alive?
Either way, they would take that kind of production.
And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. Another 13 yards there twice in a row, and they're on the move. Another first down as well. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
They didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space. I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 13 yards as the quick slant keeps the drive moving. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
But that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll go down at the 28. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, making things difficult there. Fourth down.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this third down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
So, yes, it's only 3, but at least they're able to answer back after giving up the touchdown to start the game.
Yeah, I like the observation there because getting some points on the board, very positive for them. Feel a little bit better about things because if you don't score, you potentially have opened the door for them to score again, and then you're down 14.
And New York set to take the field. They had the touchdown on the opening drive of the ball game. It was countered by just a field goal. So, hey, if your guys can do that for 4 quarters, you're in good shape.
Yeah, it is a team game, so that's just good complimentary football. But, you know, did you trade 6s for 3? It'll work out in your favor.
Now a nice play defensively on first down as this is and incomplete.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock Alvin away and bring up second down.
And room to run as he's up past the 35-yard line. A nice job to get 8 there after the incompletion, and now they'll look at a 3rd and 2 coming up.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Darnold. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Vic Beasley in there to get him for a loss of 9, and that'll lead to 4th down.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. Quarterback was hit.
Here are the Falcons as their offense heads back onto the field. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can try to have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional. 40 at the 39. At the end of 1, 7-3 the score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this.
The NFL on EA Sports is presented by Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
But they face a 2nd and long to start things out. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Finding some room at midfield. Oh, he's open. Complete. Well, they go with a slant that time. 15 yards and a first down.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. Gets a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
Coleman now. Spinning away. And now the juke. And a second spin. Touchdown. Tevin Coleman. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Falcons are in for 6. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
Level made that one because a result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And New York set to take the field. And hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did.
6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. They face a 3rd and 4 after that last completion gets them 6. Darnold from the gun. He'll leave it for Cohen, complete. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. Well, they tried to swing it out left into the flat, complete, but really nice open field tackling.
And they played that one like a great boxer. They were on their toes on that one. They weren't back on their heels. They saw it, came right for it, and made a nice tackle for lost yardage.
Atlanta now coming out on the field. And it's a unit last drive that did it all on the ground, Charles.
And the interior, big on big, right? Offensive lineman versus defensive lineman. But you know, in order to keep the football moving downfield, other people have to get involved as well. Your wide receivers, your tight ends, lead runners, anything that you have possible to get in front and keep the ball moving.
And now the defense may be looking out for a pass coming up. They're going to look to throw. An incomplete hit jars the ball free and brings up third down.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. Back to throw. And an alley to run. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a first down.
Now that definitely hurts because the mindset is getting a 3 and out there, and they don't get it done. They give up the scramble and a pickup for a first down.
This is Coleman. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
This guy's well on his way now to a big game on the ground. It's another good run there. Puts him over the century mark in yardage, and we're still in the second quarter.
2 minutes remain here in the first half. We'll come back to MetLife Stadium after this short timeout. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And an alley to run. The escapability in evidence there as that one good for 15 and a first.
Containing him is becoming a big problem. We've already seen this once earlier on this drive.
Yeah, and so now 2 times this has happened. Do you adjust something?
Yeah, I think you do. I think you got to start thinking about your rush lanes. Try not to either get too wide or too narrow. Make sure someone is there waiting for him to take off.
Drops it off for Coleman. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. It's a 4-yard pickup, and it'll make it a 2nd down. On play action, they'll throw. Flushed out right. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away, and now it's third.
Not too many things get to a quarterback of this magnitude, but I think it's safe to say that pressure can get to any quarterback.
Now, he's obviously a great franchise quarterback, but felt the pressure, threw it incomplete. They'll look to throw. And he's got his star receiver. It's Jones for the Falcon touchdown. Jones with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Falcons will add on to their lead. Point good. And, partner, they post-patterned, and it was in the middle third of the field.
And that's really difficult to do because ordinarily the safeties are back there to prevent that happening, but they found the opening and exploited it.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And New York set to take the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation.
Pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack. Tech McKinley in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
I know there would be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and end up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that momentum going. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. They should have got more out of that, though. He was wide open.
I love how emphatic you are with that call because that's exactly what I was thinking. Wide open in the flat. Give him a ball that he can use to get upfield with, not just catch and go over the sideline. They cost themselves some yardage there.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
So a jump there defensively.
And it's a killer. Watch the football.
Still third down.
Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves.
So that last penalty making this third down much more manageable. Third down, 4 yards to go. Out of the shotgun, here's Darnold. And he's got a moonwalk. And brought before reaching the 45-yard line. The Jets are going to use the first of their timeouts. Just over 40 seconds to go in the first half.
All right, here we go. Green, 39.
On first down, it's Darnold. And he will find his man on the outside. And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. Now the Jets going to use the second of their 3 timeouts as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. To the air again, Darnold. Looking sideline, incomplete.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
Darnold will throw it on 3rd and 1. And Ingles got it, complete. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Well, we always hear about the connections some quarterbacks have with certain receivers. I think this guy has a connection with just about everyone. Didn't mind throwing it in there against double coverage to him.
Shows some confidence, supreme confidence.
Big-time confidence that he would make the play for him, and he did.
So a good spin move there before he's taken down. A nice little gain. And they'll burn the timeout with 5 seconds left. A chance to try to add 3 points before heading to the locker room. And Gus within a touch. So they're still down, but they are able to salvage 3 here heading into the lockers.
This is what you work on from the beginning of training camp. Heading into the half, put some points on the board. No matter what the score says at that point, you've accomplished what you set out to do.
Final play of the first half, barring a penalty, as they come up on 1st and 10.
Detroit! Detroit!
They begin the drive with Coleman. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Things starting to get interesting in this final weekend before Thanksgiving. So let's see what's going on around the NFL. We'll get started over at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans. And those two are tied up as they play the second quarter. From there, it's over to our nation's capital to check on the Redskins at home at FedEx Field. And you can see they trail the visiting Cowboys. Big Zeke, Ezekiel Elliott, 2 touchdown runs. Lastly, we head to the Gulf Coast and check on the Bucs at home in Tampa. And for the moment, they find themselves trailing the visiting Carolina Panthers. The Panthers trying to hold on and claim victory. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put...
We now for second half. The Falcons back to receive. They've got the lead, and they'll get this football as the second half gets underway. This is taken just shy of the 10 here. Oh, look at that. Now a hit and a loose football. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Stepping up, he's going to keep it. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be second and a couple.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on first down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable second and short.
Coleman. And he's going to get this inside the 30. A nice pickup there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop him. Right back. And down inside the 15 he goes. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
Took till the second half, but finally a red zone opportunity here. They have a 1st and 10 at the 13-yard line. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Boy, you will not see a quarterback of his caliber miss on one like that very often. I mean, there it is, wide open, got the shot, and he misfires.
We talk about, boy, he'll want that one back all the time. He definitely wants that one back. Now Ito Smith, and he's going to get about 4 down inside the 10 to the 9. The Falcons on 3rd down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. They'll set up to throw. Oh, incomplete, nearly the pick they needed. They would have loved one there, but at least it does get them to 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely in there.
There's a time to force it. He felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
Now let's go. Boo, landed.
Darnold on 1st down. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. Successful start to the drive, 17 yards, and moves the sticks.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch.
Yes, indeed. That play there, that reminds me of some of the guys that I played with. They have that suddenness, able to get into the backfield almost about the time the ball snapped and make a play. How about that tackle for a loss?
Absolutely. He did a lot of that last week when he was named the NFC Defensive Player of the Week. One of the guys on the team would say, yeah, we called him the disruptor. And all New York. A big play there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Jets have made this a one-score game. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Fairly short team here. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll start out on the ground with Coleman. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. 6 off the bat and a 1st down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 23 yards on the pickup there and a 1st.
Sometimes those lines that are drawn on a grease board or in a playbook, they come to life out on the field, don't they? And we just saw that on that outside handoff to the right.
That right tackle, he gets excited for that call, doesn't he?
He does, because he just wants to dominate his guy and say, listen, I was the point of attack. I took care of business. That's why you're able to get downfield and add all those yards to your total.
Yeah, really nice gain there. On 2nd down, here's Smith down to the 25. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just the Falcons on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Toward the sideline. Did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got them both down, says the side judge. And that's good enough for a 1st down. That his 1st catch so far. They've held him under wraps, but he's got a 1st down there. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4. And I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football.
And he gets in. Touchdown. His 2nd TD of the game, his 6th on the year. And the Falcons will extend their lead. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's not worried about the number 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. And New York set to take the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. On 2nd and 10, Darnold shrugs the tackle.
Nice.
He's going to dump that off to his running back, Cohen. He'll get a couple yards on that one, and it'll be 3rd down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Throwing here on third down, Darnold. And this is going to be incomplete. Brian Poole that time there to get a hand on it.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on third down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a fourth down decision.
Set. 3-19.
Fourth down, and for Darnold, it's desperation time. Found his target, it's Anderson. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on fourth down.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. That little arc on it, he's got to find a way to get his head around to make the play on the football.
Here's Darnold. That is incomplete. Trying to get it to Tariq Cohen out of the backfield. That'll bring up second down. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it. When you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame. I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Deion Jones in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest ones, maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted.
So distance not the issue there. He had plenty of leg to get it there. It's that darn upright getting in the way.
Always gets in the way of a good time, doesn't it? Because he hit it square, too. Sometimes you can bank one in if you get it on the end of the football. No such luck there for him.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
Here's Coleman. A few times here today. This run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. Time for a break. We're back to finish this one off after this. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win.
Blue 90. Blue 90.
They stay on the ground. Again, it's Coleman. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10.
4 down. Set. Green 39. Green 39. Hot.
Staying on the ground. This time it's Smith. Down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
Now let's go. Green 39. Green 39. Hot.
That one looks like he'll throw here. Flush to his right. Finding room to the 20. Now here's a timeout called by the Jets. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. A first down carry for Smith. He will push his way down to about the 14. Now the Jets going to use the second of their 3 timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. This, in all probability, another run here on 2nd and 8. They'll drop to throw. Dancing to his left. The Jets going to go ahead and use their final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. Try to punch it in with Smith. And he will. Falcon touchdown. Ito Smith, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Falcons will add on to their lead.
Well, it'd be real easy to say that they are firmly in control right now, but I'm looking at your face and I'm thinking I got to be careful with that.
Well, it's a 2-score game. You're inside at 2 minutes. I think you can breathe relatively easily now.
Yeah, you got to stay vigilant. Can't give up anything cheap and easy. That could put you in some jeopardy.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Now the Jet offense about to take over as they head out onto the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, who cares?
And he's going to take it in. Big play, the 2nd touch, 5th on the year. And the Jets are able to cut into this deficit.
And that touchdown puts us in a position to have a discussion, doesn't it? Now it'll be a 2-score game after the conversion.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt with a 2-score game they're going to have to onside kick it. We'll just see if they've got a miracle up their sleeve. And
you wonder what onside kicks they're going to use and in what sequence if they hope to have a chance to win this game.
Gostkowski with the extra point. And the lead is trimmed down to 10. So 2 scores down. Time definitely not an ally, but here comes the onside kick. And a good job here by the Falcons. Their hands team able to recover it. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. A handoff to Smith. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Rain image. No gain on the play there. 2nd down.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
They go back to the ground with Smith. And he's going to be met at about the 43. 1 yard, the official pickup there, so it's going to set up 3rd and 9. Well, I know at points in this one you wanted to close your eyes because of all the points that were being put on the scoreboard. You're a defensive guy, but it was a fun little track meet, wasn't it?
It was, and you know the people who really enjoyed this game? They're the ones that like going to batting practice at the Major League Baseball parks, right? Seeing the 14-11 game, that sort of deal. That's right up their alley with what we saw in this one.
So for the Falcons, the great run they've been on continues as they move to 9-1 now. And they'll return home next week to take on the New Orleans Saints. Meanwhile, for the Jets, it's a loss that'll drop them back to 500 through 10 games. And they'll be on the road next week as they get a date with the Jaguars